Welcome to another edition of the Color Pigeons and More TV show, the show that covers all aspects of the pigeon hobby, whether it be racing, performing rollers, flying tipplers, fancy show pigeon, and more. Interviews with well-known pigeon breeders, breed profiles, loft construction and management, pigeon health and treatment, show coverage, genetics, just to name a few. Watch, learn, and enjoy. And now let's go to our host, Danny Joe Humphrey, and see what this show is going to be about.
Hello, I'm Danny Joe Humphrey. Today marks the 10th month of the Color Pigeon and More TV show. I've had some fun doing it. I can't believe this is show number 10, but this is it. Got a lot of things for you today. First thing we're going to have is a swallow update. On the last show, I took a Bohemian tiger swallow and I marked it by pulling out the feathers in its wings. I'll show you how that's progressing. The other thing we're going to be covering today is we'll be covering New York flights. We're going to show the domestic show flights and we're going to show the New York flying flights. It's what we're going to do. And then John Hepner is going to give us some pointers on the showing the domestic show flight. After that, we're going to have a series of loft construction. I got some photos that I took during the construction of some of my lofts and give you a little background, maybe give you some ideas. So we want you to stay tuned. Right after this break, we're going to come back with some swallow information, and then we'll go on from there.
Hi, this is Jerry Gagne, Foy's Pigeon Supplies, oldest pigeon supply company in the United States. When Danny Joe approached us about being a part of this great project, we were really excited. If you're looking for pigeon supplies, if you're looking for pigeons, I hope you'll give us a call. Foy's Pigeon Supplies, we're on the internet, just type in Foy's. Or if you'd like to call us, it's 1-877-355-7727. Ask about our 204-page all-color catalog. We'd be glad to send it to you.
Color Pigeon Lofts featuring 28 breeds of fancy pigeons, high-performance Turner rollers. We have birds available at all times. Capuchins, Saxon monks, Saxon priests, Swiss crescents, ice pigeon, saints, frillbacks, archangels, starling, figuritas, old German owls, Chinese owls, satinettes, swallows, Saxon shields, and much, much more. For breed availability, visit www.colorpigeons.com. For purchasing, pricing, and shipping info, call toll-free 1-800-527-0918.
Muir Nagel, better known as Dr. Pigeon by his friends, is known by his one-eye cold treatment. It's called One Drop, One Time. It only takes one drop, it only takes one time. Every breeder needs at least one bottle of One Drop, One Time to keep in their loft for those nasty eye colds. They're available at Foy's Pet Supply, New England Pigeon Supply, and Pro Flight Supply. And remember, the next time you buy pigeon supplies, be sure to include one bottle of One Drop, One Time. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is give you an update on the swallow plucking or marking, as we call it, on this Bohemian tiger swallow. I was a little bit disappointed. I guess I expected it to show something, but it doesn't really show any improvement. It just shows a swallow with a kind of a ragged wing. But we plucked this wing, and you can see for sure that the feathers, if you turn around, you can see for sure here that the feathers are missing. I haven't been able to detect any feathers coming back yet. And I thought a month or 6 weeks that they would come back, but obviously I'm wrong. But anyway, that's the swallow update. We'll keep checking on her. She's got 2 babies right now. We'll keep checking on her, and maybe we'll see some transformation here coming up soon. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you briefly about flights. We actually have 2 types of flights. We have the New York flying flight, which is a creation that occurred up in New York, and they're very popular birds. I've got some New York flying flights. In my experience, they make the best foster parents of any breed that I've used. And I've got some that I fly. I actually fly a flock of New York flying flights, and I fly some starlings and archangels mixed in with them. The one thing good about them, they're fast. If they're adult, the hawk don't have much chance, particularly on the starlings. So let me show you the New York flight first, and then I'll show you the show flight. I've only got a couple of these, so it won't make a big deal. Basically, when you look at the New York flight, like I have right here, beautiful little bird, red neck, kind of a bell neck. They come in all colors. I got them in all colors, blue, red, black, yellow, everything. But this looks more like just like a regular pigeon. And I think that was the goal. And beautiful bird, like I said, great parents, good temperament. If you want, these would be on the scale of raising them, I'd call them a 10. Here's some I actually got from somebody. These are white. Beautiful, beautiful bird. They're not totally white. They also have the crest on it, a little shell crest on them. Beautiful bird. That's the New York flight, and they can fly as their name says. They got a beautiful pearl eye. There's nothing wrong with these birds. They're great birds. If you get 10 pair of them, though, and you don't do something about them, in 2 years you'll probably have 500. So keep that in mind. Okay. That's the flying flight. Now I'm going to show you some show flights. Now, I really don't know a whole lot about this breed. I know that it's real popular. And it started up in New York. They have the big domestic show flight club up there. Sal Giucani is the guy that I did an interview with him on an earlier show. And he's the big man in that thing. He's been running that show up there at the New York Combine for several years. It's a great organization. But this is just a little white splash bird. Got a nice little cap on it, black and white. But they're fancy. I wish they would sit still so you can see them stand. But they got a little stance about them that makes them kind of unique. Here's a real pretty one. This is a dark, dark red splash, crestless. Beautiful little bird. Now these birds are, I wouldn't say they were show quality or anything. They might be, but I probably wouldn't know the difference. That would be the thing. But they're nice birds, and they're easy to breed. Some people say they're hard to breed, but I don't have any problems with them. They take care of their babies and everything. Here's a pretty little yellow one. I probably got about 6 or 7 pair of these. And I like them. I like the way they look. Like I say, I like the way they're parents. And I wish we could get one that would stand still for us. Here's a real nice, deep, deep red. Beautiful bird. Red. They all got the pearl eyes just like the flying flights. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you and let John Hepner, who is would be considered an expert on domestic show flights, and he's going to show us a little bit and tell us what the qualities and the things that they should have from a show standpoint. So stay with us. Be right back with John. Okay?
Color Pigeon Loss, featuring 28 breeds of fancy pigeons, high-performance Turner rollers. We have birds available at all times. Capuchins, Saxon monks, Saxon priests, Swiss crescents, ice pigeon, saints, frillbacks, archangels, starling, figuritas, old German owls, Chinese owls, satinettes, swallows, Saxon shields, and much, much more. For breed availability, visit www.colorpigeons.com. For purchasing, pricing, and shipping info, call toll-free 1-800-527-0918.
Muir Nagel, better known as Dr. Pigeon by his friends, is known by his one-eye cold treatment. It's called One Drop, One Time. It only takes one drop, it only takes one time. Every breeder needs at least one bottle of One Drop, One Time to keep in their loft for those nasty eye colds. They're available at Foy's Pet Supply, New England Pigeon Supply, and Pro Flight Supply. And remember, the next time you buy pigeon supplies, be sure to include one bottle of One Drop, One Time.
Hi, this is Jerry Gagne, Foy's Pigeon Supplies, oldest pigeon supply company in the United States. When Danny Joe approached us about being a part of this great project, we were really excited. If you're looking for pigeon supplies, if you're looking for pigeons, I hope you'll give us a call. Foy's Pigeon Supplies, we're on the internet, just type in Foy's. Or if you'd like to call us, it's 1-877-355-7727. Ask about our 204-page all-color catalog. We'd be glad to send it to you.
All right, this is a domestic show flight, a breed that's made in America, primarily New York. You notice it has very short legs. It's supposed to have short legs with the feather covering the shank, so you mainly see the toes, and it should have a nice breast, filled in breast, a nice thick neck. You can see that now, and nice pants on the bottom. And it's supposed to be stylish and typey, meaning it stands proudly. So it's always got its head kind of over backwards, so that it shows you kind of a proud look is what you're looking for. Now I'm going to pick the bird up and show you some other features that might be easier if I hold the bird in my hand. So I'm going to pick the bird up, and this bird is supposed to have a nice thin narrow beak. You can see it does that, and it's supposed to be reddish, and the eye sear is supposed to be colored, which you can see, and this featheration up front here on normal pigeons is sloped way to the back, whereas this comes forward, and there's 20 points in this amount of feather coming in the standard coming forward. You can see how nicely it comes out and then up and over. Now this is a domestic show flight, and it must have, a perfect bird would have 10 white flights on each side, but it must have 6 in order to show it in the show class. If it would be missing in that area, it would go in a stock class, but that would not have a chance to win the champion. The tail is to be short, and the flights are supposed to meet nicely here, and the eye sear is supposed to be very nice and white. You can see kind of the nice white eye sear, which is not common to pigeons. It has to be bred into them, and the pupil should be relatively small, somewhat darkened here, so the pupil is a little larger. In sunlight, of course, the pupil would shrink, but have a nice narrow pupil. So those are some of the things we look for. Color is important. It's worth about 20 points. It's supposed to be a deep, even shade. It's fairly well. It's got a little bit of featheration here that's not quite as deep, and that would be a fault. As a matter of fact, I'm going to remove 1 or 2 of these feathers because this bird is going to go in the show, and it's a pretty good contestant. So that gives you a bit of an idea of some of the things we look for. Each bird has its own standard of perfection based on number of points, much like a dog at the Westminster Kennel Show. Very similar thing, or like an American Beauty contest with women, so many points for this and that. So that's the way we work it at the show.
In closing, I want to mention to you and remind you of the Loss of America book that was written by Jerry Gagne with Voice Pigeon Supplies. You need to get you one of these. It's a great book, shows you all different ideas about making lofts. It features over 100 lofts in here. And you don't have to buy them from Foy's. You can buy them from their distributors. They're available at Foy's. They're available at Global Pigeon Supplies, New England Pigeon Supplies, and Jed's Pigeon Supplies, and also Siegel's Pigeon Supplies. Remember this, Loss of North America by Jerry Gagne. You need this book, get you one. You'll enjoy it, I promise you.